I want to welcome everybody to this new HLA Steps session today.
Join the meeting.
And we are going to introduce the guest presenter today, which is Erica Diaz. She is from Makakio, Oahu, and she serves currently as the Hawaiian Resources Librarian at Kapiʻolani Community College. She holds a master's degree from Manoa and a bachelor's degree in English from University of Washington at Seattle. She's going to teach us how to use Canva. And I don't know about y'all, but y'all know that librarians do a lot of flyers and brochures. And that is not my bailiwick. I'm really, really bad. I love our LDS section, but they are so backed up they can't do my little book flyers and stuff. So I discovered Canva a couple years ago and I love it, but I haven't had time to delve deep into using it to its full potential. So I'm excited to have Erica show us all how we can do that. So Erica, I'm going to go ahead and let you take over.
Aloha kako. Nice to see some familiar faces and meet the rest of you. My name is Erica Diaz, as Elena said. So don't mind me. I just want to say, so I'm going to be kind of looking to the side. I have two screens and then my camera's right in the middle. So if I look at my camera all the time, I can't see what's going on. So that's why I'm kind of looking in different directions. Okay. So I guess let's go ahead and get started. If you folks want to put in the chat, if you don't mind, to just kind of give me a sense of how many of you have Canva accounts already. Okay. Oh, I like that, +1. Okay. Everyone's saying, I do, free account, okay. Anyone that doesn't have a Canva account? Okay, then I'll go ahead and I'll skip the whole sign up portion because I was going to show you how to sign up, but okay. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Okay, so I'm sure you folks are familiar with the login here. I just have it connected to my Google.
Hey, Erica, I think somebody said they did not have it, so maybe you should go over very quickly how to do that.
Got it. Okay, Lori. Oh, and Linda, sorry. Okay, let's go back. Everyone can see my screen okay though? Okay. So all you do is you just go to canva.com or just Google Canva. And it should bring you to a screen kind of similar to this. And it's super easy to sign up. You just click the purple sign up. If you want to sign up with your email and create an actual separate password, you can do that. If you want just like a one-click sign-on with Google, that's actually what I've done, is you can just sign up with Google and it'll already plug you in there. And if you're like me and you already have an account, it won't create another account for you because it's recognizing your email. Everyone cool with the sign up? Okay, so then now, so this is kind of your like home screen when you're presented with Canva. And what I like to do, because again, we're using the free version, what I like to do is be very intentional. If I just want some ideas, for example, I might go in here and there's all these, you'll see there's all these different tabs, you know, social media, like Elena was saying, events. For the school librarians or those of you making lessons, you can go to school, video. And then, of course, at the top bar here, there's templates kind of in those same categories, and you can choose. There's more options. But the reason I said to be very intentional is because with the free account, you can't resize your designs without having to redo everything. So what you want to do is you really want to make sure the size that you're creating is the size that you're going to be publishing. So for example, Instagram posts, you want to make sure you start with that. So we'll go ahead and just start with that. And what it does is when you hover over the things, you'll notice it says like the pixels. Or for example, on the certificate, it'll give you the inches. So I'm just gonna click on something, and this is just automatically creating a blank post. And I'll actually, okay, let me do another poll of you folks. Does anyone want me to go over kind of the basics of the home bar and all of that? Or kind of just skip into the designing?
I think that we wanted to do, Erica, was have this maybe more of an intro, and then have you come back in a couple months and do a more advanced version. Does that sound right to you? Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So I will go over the basics here on the toolbar here. So again, I just have a blank design, and then if I'm looking here at the left menu, I've got, you know, templates, all these options here. I can upload media, videos, pictures, or I can choose a bunch of free ones here if I don't want to take my own photos. Elements. So this is, for example, like shapes, frames, cute little images, text, and so forth. You have a lot of options. Okay, so that's kind of the left bar. Now, the bar at the top, nothing is showing right now because I have a blank design. So I'm gonna go ahead and just press the T. That's just a shortcut. It's gonna add some text. So see how it just, you didn't see what I was doing probably, but I just pressed the T and then this paragraph text showed up here. Now, when I'm clicked on it, you'll notice that all these options at the top show up. And this is kind of like your main design area, because it's gonna give you all the options you want for tailoring this to what you need, or starting with a template and making it your own. So over here, this is where you would change like the font, the size. You've got your options here. And you'll notice, you see the little crowns, that's the paid stuff. So I just avoid those fonts because we're just doing free. You can change color, etc. And I'll go over these, these other ones here when we get into some designing. Okay. Now on the left-hand side, back to the left-hand side, you'll notice how there's all these templates. So I can click one there and it'll just automatically show up. Now from here, I can go ahead and start designing. Up here on the top bar is my favorite button, the undo button. That's just going to take away that design. One thing when you are adding designs, let's say I want to add another page and I really like this extra design here. Oh, that's a paid feature, so you want to look for those little crowns, right? When I pick something, it's going to overwrite all that hard work that I just did, right? So again, just having that undo button at the top is your best friend. And then over here, you'll see these little icons here, add a page. And then if I click on a template, it'll replace that blank page. So kind of just remembering whenever you start, don't get too click happy because you might replace over something that you want there. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna step back to the beginning screen to show you folks one more thing about creating a design. So remember I had said you want to be very intentional. So I just picked Instagram posts because I wanted to just try that, right? But let's say I want a custom size. So I go here on the right, custom size. And what's really cool about this is you can choose, like with the Instagram, right, it has the pixels, or like with the certificate example, it was inches. So any of these measurements, you can go ahead and choose any of that, and then you put exactly what you want. So let's say I'm making a flyer, 8.5 by 11, and then create my new design. So it's kind of similar to how we just clicked the blank one here. We just clicked blank, but I'm getting the exact measurements I want for my design. And the reason I say that is, remember I said resizing costs money. So up here, excuse me, up here where it has the crown, resize, right, that's a paid feature. So if I wanted to turn this flyer into an Instagram post, for example, I couldn't do that. So that's why it's important to be very intentional before you start your free design is, what am I using this for? And if you want to create multiple designs and you don't want to pay for the Pro Canva account, the paid version, then what I would suggest is opening up 2 different tabs. So like here we have our 8.5 by 11 flyer, and then here we have our social media post or Instagram. So I can actually drag my mouse over all of this, and you'll notice how it's making those marker lines. It shows me it's highlighting everything. And if I just control copy or command copy, and then I can drop it into there. So it's not, it's not a perfect design, but that's one way that you can kind of cheat that resizing. And then I'm just dragging my cursor over all of it. And then notice this dotted line lets me know it's all kind of there highlighted. And then I can drag the corner to make it bigger. So that's kind of one way to get around that resize. Okay, now let me go ahead and just start with something for Valentine's Day. So one thing you can do is when you're here in the templates, you can just visually search, or you can actually start typing in things. So Valentine's Day. So let's say I like this, I pop that in there. And if you want to give yourself more room, you can just close this sidebar. That always kind of gets in my way. So I have some different options now, right? Let's say I have this template, but I want to personalize it. Maybe I want to put someone's name. So I can click on the element I want. And here, and then all I did was just change the text. So it was that simple. I just clicked on it, and then I just started typing. Now, what if I want to change the color of the text, right? That's pretty important. That's where, so I'm just going to highlight it. And then up on that top toolbar I was telling you is your important design bar, the little text icon here. And I can choose any of the colors that are already there. And what's really nice is where it says document colors, it's showing me all the colors already there. And if you use a photo, it will actually show the photo pictures too. So it makes it really easy for matching. And then of course you can pick your own color, adjust that here. And then just like with other free programs, you'll notice here it has the color number. If you Google the color number you want, or the number you want, you can just pop that in there. And then it gives you that color you're searching for. There, and then see how the text changed. Any questions so far? Okay. Now, so that was just some text, right? Now, what if you have, let's say, for example, I made a mistake and something happened, or I'm adding more text and I don't like the way that looks. I want to align it, or I want to kind of match it. So what you would do is click on the elements. So you can click on one, Control or Command, click on the next one. Oops, sorry. Highlight, not Control. So when I'm highlighting it, see how I've got, when I try to move it, they move together. But notice, I don't know if you can see, I kind of caught that cloud in there. I don't want to move that cloud, right? So what I can actually do is I'm going to go just so slightly where it's just catching the text and my cloud is not caught. And what I want to do now is go up top where it says group, and I'm going to group it. And the reason I want to do that is now I can just freely move this all around without having to worry about, am I grabbing the other elements? So once I have it grouped, I can position it wherever I want. and then just ungroup it if you don't want it grouped. The other thing with important with text is you want to, as I was mentioning, align it, right? So I'm here in my design, and here where it says position, this is where you can move that text, you know, forward, backward, like other photo editing programs. But then this is where I would align everything. So if I click middle, for example, it's putting it in the middle of the page. Center is going to be centered this way. Now, what if I have two texts, right? What if I want both of them aligned with each other? So I can kind of like maybe space it. Let's say I want that down there. And I have my hello up here, but I'm not quite sure. It looks crooked, right? It's not quite centered. So what I can do is I can position it and center it, but I also can highlight these elements, and then where it says position, this tidy up button is really cool because notice how it kind of just made it all evenly spaced. If I didn't want my flower to go all the way low like that, I can just do that. What if I want, because this is a question I was always confused about, what if I just want to align the text but not that flower? So then you want to lock your image. So click on the flower, and then there's this little lock icon in the upper right. You want to click that. So now no matter what I do, if I'm highlighting this, like how I was dragging it over, notice how it pulled in my cloud, right? But it's not pulling in my flower, and that's because I locked the flower. Thanks, Sunny. Okay, so that's kind of how you just would take care of that. Moving around your images, and you can do that with the other elements as well, right? So the tidy up feature and spacing it out, you can do that with the images, the icons. Okay, now what about background color, right? So I'm clicking on the background, and then in this upper left, I have this little pink square. So I'm going to click on that, and then that's where I can change my background. Or if I don't like it, I could remove it altogether. That doesn't look too good, but you know, there are options. Let's say I want to add a photo, right? Maybe I want the photo to be my background. So I can go here to where it says photos. And so it gives me some suggestions, but maybe I don't want love. Maybe that's cliche, okay? So I'm gonna do a garden maybe for the flowers. Ooh, I like this, I don't know what that is, an out garden house. Okay, all I'm doing is taking it and just dragging it. Notice how it does this weird thing. It's gonna replace the background. So it's kind of particular when you first drag it over. If you want it as your background, just let go of your cursor. If you want it as just an image, then what you would do is purposefully drag it to whatever spot you want. And then you could resize it. So I could make this smaller, bigger, and then kind of move it around there. And then again, if I want it as my background, I'm just dragging it. It kind of does it on its own, and then I just let go. Any questions about anything so far?
Hey, can you show us, Erica, if I wanted to put one of my personal photographs of me and my husband or whatever into that, can you show us how to do that?
Definitely. Okay. Okay, so let's say, for example, this was, I'm going to add an extra page to start with a clean page here. Sorry, my file explorer disappeared. Here we go. Okay, so this just was something I posted on Instagram recently. So this happens to be what I have. I'm just going to drag that there. And it's just that simple. You can just drag and drop it. If you want to go through the whole upload process, you can. So you would go here, click upload, video, audio, image, etc. Or you can just do it the way we did, where it's just drag and drop. It saves so much time. Now, cropping, I almost forgot about that. So let's say you have an image and it's too big, or you just want to crop it, right? So click on the image, and then up in your top design bar where it says crop, actually, this is funny, an image I chose was already cropped. So notice how there's these like spaces on the outside. So this was a really big image. So in fact, if I decided, oh, I like the side of it, I could just move it over like that, and I don't even have to crop it. Or I could crop it, and all you would do there is just size it, smaller. Oops. Maybe 1 second there. Let me re-add that photo. Smaller. Okay. And then we'll crop the small one. Okay. So then now I have it on crop, and then the corners, I forgot, you can't really, it's different with the background. So then notice how I'm moving it, and then I can see that gray part that's gonna be cropped out. And then that's it. But the good thing is, like traditional cropping on like a photo editor on your phone, you're actually cropping that out. And a lot of times you can't get that back. But with Canva, if you decided you didn't like the way you cropped it, you just move the photo over, or you extend the crop area. And that's it. Any questions about images or backgrounds? Okay. So now I'm going to show you how to save time.
Sorry. Sorry, Erica, there's some questions in the comments. Stacey Kaneshige from HSPLS asked, can you drag a photo from your desktop, import an image? And then Jenny asked, oh, sorry, it was just a comment. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, so Stacey, yeah, so that was the one where I just took this from my file explorer. Yeah, I think she asked that before. Let's see. Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Stacey. Okay. So let's say I just deleted that to get it out of the way. So, okay, so duplicating stuff. I want to show you folks how to save time with duplications. So I don't know if anyone is like as particular about their designs as I am. I think I spend too much time on designing. So I try to, give you folks tip that's not going to drive you crazy. So let's say I like this. I like this, for example, but I want to change some things, or I want to see like, okay, if I change this color, or if I use a different font, how does the one design compare to the next? And you don't want to create it all from scratch, right? So what I like to do that saves me so much time, especially at the library, is right here, this duplicate page. So like recently I've been doing these newsletters, and so when we have updates, I've been kind of like keeping an archive record of it, and then you just make a copy. And so what I mean by that is, let's say you want to give this design to one friend. I know it says honey, I adore you. We'll just pretend it's friendship. So let's say you want to give this design to one friend, or let's say here, I'll say Joy. And then on the second one, maybe I just want to change the way the font looks, or the color, for example. So I'm going to choose a different font. I definitely don't like that, but it's kind of just giving you an example of how you can see the one design to the next, rather than having to recreate the whole thing. Same thing with the elements, right? So if I liked this flower, for example, maybe I wanted to make like a border. I can just go up here. So I clicked on the flower that I like, or the element I like. You can even do it, yeah, great for personalizing cards. And especially like if you're sending out, you know, holiday cards, e-greetings, and you just want to like do the bunch of the same kind. So I clicked here on the flower, and then in the upper design bar, it was telling you, I'm going to go to the one that says duplicate, the little plus symbol. And then notice how it just made the flower right next to it. So then now I'm just going to kind of space it out, but I'm not going to worry about making it perfect because Canva will help me do that. So I just added another one, I duplicated, so now I have 3. So it doesn't look right. So what I can do here is drag my cursor to highlight all 3 of these flowers. And then this is where that tidy up comes in real nice. Oops, that didn't work the way I thought. Okay, there we go. There we go, horizontal. Sometimes tidy up does a weird thing. So all I did was, so now they're evenly spaced apart from each other on the bottom. But notice how this middle one's in the back. Maybe I want to bring that middle one forward, but I'm clicking and I'm clicking. How do I get that middle one? It can be very frustrating. So click on one of the images at the front. And this is what I used to do. I used to go to position, send it backward, and then go to the other one and send that one backward. But that's a waste of time. A quicker way to do it is click on the image that's in the front. And then if you press Control, notice how it clicked. You see like a second box appeared. So what it's done is now I have oops, click, Control, sorry. Okay, click. Again, I'm just pressing Control. Okay, it is not working the way it did in practice. Okay, well, this is great. Design on the fly that does not work out. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually scooch this a little to the side. There we go. Okay, so now I got the middle one. But if I do press Control and click, I can click the different layers, right? And then from there, I can position that one forward. And sometimes, I don't know if you saw, because it was real subtle, it made the one leaf appear and then the other leaf. So sometimes you have to do that where I'm just going to press undo so you folks can see it disappear. So sometimes you have to press the forward button more than once because it's bringing only part of the element, because it brought it forward from this one, but then it had to also bring it forward from this one. So it depends what look you're going for. Now, let's say these are too high up. I can just highlight them all. And I'm pressing Shift and then my down arrow. And it's just going to move them. I think it's 10 pixels, but that might be too much. So instead of using Shift, because Shift is a faster way to move them, the images all together, Shift with the arrow. But that moves a lot, as I mentioned, 10 pixels, right? So if I don't press Shift and I just press my arrow button up, it's just moving it 1 pixel at a time. So this is like, instead of sitting here pressing it 10 times, you can just use Shift. But you want to use the arrow if maybe the Shift is too much. All right. Any questions about that part?
If I wanted to get rid of those clouds, let's say I don't like the clouds, I like everything else, can I just delete those and look for click on the elements and put in hearts instead?
Definitely. So I can I'm highlighting and I'm just pressing delete on my keyboard. If for some reason you can't use delete on your keyboard or that doesn't work, the other option is in this upper right, you have that little trash can and that'll just throw it right away. And then now I go to elements, as Elena had suggested. And then here, I can just look for, the different categories. Frames is really interesting. because if you want, they have this new feature where I'm going to put here, I'm just typing in the search bar letters. So if you want to spell, for example, like love, or if you're giving it, you know, for Galentine's Day, right, you can put gal or pal. So I'm just spelling out a word. And then, oops, that O is wrong. But so I'm just spelling out whatever word I have. And then from there, and if you wanted to get these the same size, right, I'm just gonna highlight. First, I'm gonna actually get the joy out of the way, or I can lock that element. So my little lock icon, so it won't bother me now, right? I can do whatever I want. That, okay. So I'm gonna highlight that. Oops, wrong button there. Okay, highlight that, and then notice how like that purple line appears, but it's only doing it when I'm moving it, and then I can, okay, I think that's the right size. What's an easier way is up here where it says file, you want to show as much as you feel comfortable showing. So like show rulers, guidelines, margins. And so that way, when I'm moving it, I can see the that purple will be there, and I'll see how it's kind of lining up and the sizes are similar. And then of course it's nice to have the ruler on the side. So if I want to look for clouds, for example, as Elena was saying, I can just click that X. I'm in Elements. I'm going to search for cloud. And then again, all those crowns are the paid ones. And you know, sometimes I find a lot of really good stuff, and it gets kind of frustrating because you're like, all the stuff I like is paid, but there's a lot of free stuff. But if you don't even want to see it, right? You don't even want to see it. You just click here where you're searching. And let's see here. Free, where it has here. Oops, sorry, wrong button. Okay, I guess I forgot how to do that. I've been using the pro version for so long. I apologize. Okay, we'll definitely get back to that. But there's a way where you can search for just free images. So I'm just going to scroll down. And again, all the crown ones are the paid ones, but I'm just clicking on the ones that don't have the crown. And I can add as many as I want or as little. And then you'll notice too, if you haven't seen it before, the magic recommendations that comes up. It's just giving me designs that are similar, or maybe if it's by the same artist, or if you're looking at photographs, the same photographer, it'll group it all together. So that way your style kind of matches. And then some of the elements, for example, you can still change the color. So if I don't want a blue cloud, I can go in there, I can change it to white, and so forth. And then resize, move it wherever I need to. Maybe I want it behind, position it backward. And then with these letters, all I was wanting to show you folks is if you have a photo, for example, you can put the photo into that letter. So it makes for a nice word art. You can do like that. The only thing is when you're doing it, it won't evenly space out the photos. So if you, like, for example, if you had a family photo and you didn't want like the same person's head in every photo, because it doesn't do that for you, you would just space it out in this. And what I mean by that is I'll use this garden image because it's easier to tell. So here, when I drag this over, right, I'm just going to kind of go like that. Oops. into the letter. Now I can kind of see, I'm gonna click on it. And so this is like where it's cropped, right? Because of the letter L. I'm just gonna drag this over. So like the end of it meets with that L. Because remember, I wanna like see the whole picture. And then when I go to the next letter, it's gonna drag it in there. But then now I'm gonna see, okay, just gonna kind of eyeball, or I can, you know, use the guides at the top to see, okay, about 2 inches. So here, when I click on that, I'm gonna go, okay, about there, kind of eyeball it. And then when I go to the next letter, you know, so forth, I'll be able to see kind of the full picture in the letters. Does that make sense? Yeah? Okay. Just gonna take those out. Okay. I want to also make sure I leave time for questions because I know we only have about 10 minutes. So please feel free. I made sure I went over all the tips that that I wanted to cover. But what do you folks want to know? Or do you want to see more designs, or maybe publishing options, download options?
Oh, hi, Erica. Oh, sorry. This is Laurel. Hi. I'm so sorry if it's off topic. Okay to not do this question, but what is the difference between the free version and the Canva for Education version?
You know, I'm not 100% sure, only because, and part of the reason why I think Laurel's asking is because there was just an I Teach 808 that this past weekend that she put together. It was amazing. They had a Canva for Education presentation. I wasn't able to go to it, but my understanding is when you have Canva for Education account, you have to be a teacher, and you have to be grades K through 12, because I wanted to sign up for it, but because I'm not a K through 12 librarian, I didn't. But you just here, register, and then it has this verification process. So I just said I'm not a K through 12 teacher, and then it takes me out of that sign up. But if you are, you know, a librarian, that counts, right? Because you're instructing. Then you would just go through the steps, and they just verify you, and then you would get, yeah, Canva for Education.
Cool, thanks, Erica.
Oh, you're welcome. Oh, and in the chat, you should put the pricing plans. Thank you for putting that. And I'll just click on that real quick so folks can see. So this one on the left, the free account, that's the one that you just automatically get when you sign up, right? Because they're not going to try and make you pay for anything. They want you to start just using their system. And then if you like, you know, the features, and like me, maybe they might be like, get you to kind of pay for a couple of months. I tried it out, but you save money if you buy it by the year. Enterprise, I'm imagining us librarians and stuff and teachers probably wouldn't need to get the paid versions, but the free version, you still have a lot. There's over 250,000 templates, hundreds of designs, 5 gigabytes of cloud storage. I mean, that's a decent amount for free. And the other thing about it, as I mentioned, you can't resize, right? So make sure you're intentional with your designs from the start. So I'm just going back to the home screen, right? If I'm scrolling down, and these are just templates. I'm seeing all these different templates. If I want a Facebook post, you know, or a poster, no problem. But some of you folks might be designing for, like, let's say a particular size digital screen or a particular computer monitor. And that's where like the custom size really comes in handy, because with pixels, for example, too, you need like certain graphic requirements for certain uploads. You can do that. Like at the library here, we have a digital display, and it has to be, I forget the measurements because I have it saved, but it's like something by 1060. And so then I would just put it in and then start my design there. So again, being very intentional about what size you want, because you can't resize it. Then the other thing is folders. So let me show you that real quick. So this is automatically saved, right? So if I go to File, I'm in my top design bar. And then down towards the bottom, it says all changes saved. So it does like an auto save, but if you want to make sure it saves, right, just click save. Now, if you want to save it in a particular folder, you can do that. But so I have this one folder here, ideas for teaching. I can make another folder, but the problem with that is the free version only allows you 2 folders. So kind of like with the design size, just be very intentional about the folders you create or whatever your naming system is, because you can't get more than the 2 folders. But if you don't really care about folders, it's no big deal.
Hey, Erica, if I wanted to print that off, I just hit the download button and it downloads, and then I can print it off on my printer. Is that correct?
Yeah, you can do. So this is where publishing, you can publish tons of different things. So I'm going to download. And first of all, file type, right? Do you want, you know, an image, a PDF, etc.? You can make videos and GIFs in here. And then notice here, right, there's this size bar. I can't change that because that's just a paid version. Same thing like these here, but it has the crown, so it'll remind you. Now, if I don't like all of these, or let's say I have my, 20 friend cards on here and I don't want to download them all, I would click here, pages, and I just click the page that I want to download, and then done, and then I click download. And then that's it. And then after, it'll prompt me, for how I want to name it. And then I would just name it there. I'm clicking these 3 little dots because this is how you would publish it. So if you didn't want to download your design, as I had mentioned in the flyer that went out, is you can do all these other options, right? Like you can make, you can actually send it off to Canva for printing if you wanted to pay for that. They do business cards, t-shirts, etc. But let's say I just want to present this, right? So like to a class or something, I can click that and then present. Excuse me. And then you can present as if you would like a slideshow. Another option is present and record. So if you wanted to present your slides and do a recording that you're going to give to someone, that's an option as well. So I do that. Oh, I'm not using Chrome, sorry. But it allows you to choose, which webcam you're going to use to record yourself. And a couple other options. I'm going to click here, see all. Oh, we're almost out of time. There's tons of options. I mean, and you folks can explore it on your own, but like website, that's really nice because it lets your design scroll the way a website would. Embed, right? You can embed it into other websites. I'll just show you one example real quick before we are out of time of the library here at Kapiʻolani Community College. Is right here on the home page. Our librarian Allison actually, so she embedded this here into this image carousel, but when I click on it, it takes me, so this is actually a Canva design that I made, and it's like any changes I make will go live to this because I embedded it on there. So that's a cool feature too, is you don't have to always put images, because if you do, then you have to like change the image, download it, upload it. So this is kind of a way where you can avoid all that extra steps of downloading, uploading. You can embed it. Any other questions? Oh, I have lots of messages here. Oh, thank you for all the free photo resources.
I think just one more thing, Erica. So what's nice about this, I think, is that you can collaborate with others. So if you have a bunch of people, can you go over that real quick on how you can share so your other partner can help design something for a presentation?
Thank you very much, Elena, for mentioning that. So I'm clicking here on the design. I go here to share. And so I can share a link to edit or view. So edit, for example, I'm going to copy that link and then I'll just go ahead and email it to someone. Other option is if I'm up here in the 3 dots, share link, and then copy. And then notice how it says here, anyone with the link can view, no sign-in is required, but you do need a sign-in if you're gonna be editing. But again, it's free, right? The login is free. And then one more thing, since people were talking about photos, is on this left part of my elements choices where I click more, there's all these other apps. So kind of like with Google Slides, for example, you can integrate all these extra features. If I wanted to add like a Bitmoji or if I wanted to add Giphy. So there's all these other options. So maybe Canva 201 can go over that. But yeah, so there's lots of options for adding all your favorite, like someone had mentioned Pixabay. So yeah. Let's see more chats. Do you have them? Oh, yes, you can have more than one person editing the same work in free Canva, yes. Thanks, Jenny.
Okay, so if there's no more questions.
Hello again. Just wanted to clear up 2 things from the presentation. So as promised, the free search narrowing and then the selecting the background image. That was at the 26:15 mark when I was doing the border here. So what you want to do is press Control first and then click on the element. And then you're going to go ahead and click it again. And then notice how the blue box shows up. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just move it up. And then notice how it didn't move right away that first time. So what I actually find works a lot better for me personally is after I have control with my mouse, I'm going to click until the element I want is selected. Then I'm going to let go of everything, the mouse and the control, and then I'm just going to use my arrow to move it around, and it seems to work for me the best that way. Okay, and then narrowing to the free search, so that was at the 32.5-minute mark of the video. So I'm going to go here into, actually I want to show you, so templates, it used to be here at these 3 little marks here. You could narrow down your search by free or paid. Now it lets you do it by color and language. But it seems like they've removed that. So you have to use a special secret code. You can get it online, but I'll go ahead and put it here so you don't have to memorize it. It would be hard to, I think, get a mnemonic for this. So I'm just searching with this brand name here. And then now everything that shows up is going to be free images. The only kind of problem with this is it's not really grouped nicely together. I don't see the frames or the GIFs, all together. It's all over. So what you can do is add something to the end of your search. So I'm going to search for hearts because Elena had asked for hearts and I gave her more clouds. Okay, so now you'll see everything I'm getting is some type of heart and it's all free. And when I hover over, you can see they all say free. There's no crowns there appearing. And just drag and drop that into my presentation or my Canva here. Now there's a second brand and I'm going to put that one because it actually shows slightly different results. Okay, and I just left the hearts in there so you could see. So I am getting hearts, but notice how the images are not the same and I don't see like these balloons. I'm getting like I could do candy hearts, for example. But that's it. That's how you would narrow down to the free search. And again, just go ahead and use the code that I've put there. Thanks again for joining the session. Take care.